And salutations, not necessarily in that order. It's welcome time. It is. It's welcome time. Welcome to the Common Ground with John Thielon show. It is I, John Thielon, your captain, your host, your general, your field marshal, your quarterback, the captain of communication, the coach of collaboration and of Common Ground. I'm also, don't forget, the mayor of Real Town. That just means, for those of you who still may not be familiar with that little nickname, is that I work always, or if I'm going to be political here like a mayor, I work always to keep things as right down the line as possible. Thank you, little Bill Clinton, for you. But seriously, I do. I work on keeping things right as right as right can be, right down the line, truthful, 100%, not candy coated, and as real can be. Hence, the mayor of Real Town. Some people, they don't dig it. It goes down very, very poorly, and oh well. Other people, I can't get enough. So let's go behind door number 2, all of us right here and now, and continue to not get enough of real, okay? Hey, we're coming to you today as we always do, or pretty much always do. There was that one time when I did not. Hearkening back, but matters not. We're coming to you from the studios of Hamilton Media's Hamilton Radio, right at the confluence of I-195 and U.S. Route 206 in Hamilton Township, New Jersey. Just moments, like literally right over there from where Trenton is and begins. So yeah, so there's that. Hamilton Radio, you know, it's an iHeart radio station. It's also the flagship station of Common Ground with John Thielon. Thank you very much. And for the Exceptional Radio Broadcast Network, the ERB. And boy, I can't wait to work on that in the coming weeks, months, and time going by to make the ERBN something special. It already is, but more on that as it unfolds. Listen, I have to tell you, now that we're basically out of Christmas music, holiday music, Gino, we are out of Christmas music season, are we not? Yes, I don't want to speak out of turn, because sometimes some of the stations where I've worked previously will keep the Christmas music going through the week between Christmas and New Year's. But nope, once it's over, it's over. And that's not a bad thing, because we've got the absolute best in musical entertainment and podcast type shows here on Hamilton Radio. Go to hamiltonradio.net. Again, hamiltonradio.net, okay? Great independent groups and artists. Tuesday, by the way, if you dig good indie groups and artists, Tuesday is Indie Day. And I don't mean Indianapolis. I mean independent artists and groups. And then all the other rest of the week, and along with Tuesday too, all the great sounds that make up the soundtracks of our lives, from the early days of rock until, I don't know, the 90s, the early 2000s, some of the good stuff from 20, 25 years ago. We're all the cool kids, and those who just need that special music fix, go to tune in, turn on, and crank up. It's Hamilton Media's Hamilton Radio. Again, check it out by going to the new hamiltonradio.net. We just had the website redone. It's very easy to turn on. There are 2 links at the top left of the web page. One is a USA stream. You can listen to it here in the United States, these United States of America. And there's an international stream, too. If you're in Canada or America or, I don't know, South Amboy? Oh, wait a minute. That is the U.S. Sorry about that. If you're in any other country other than the U.S., there's an international stream, too. In either event, it's sounding very great. It really is. If you want to, you can go to iHeartRadio.com and do a search, Hamilton Radio Oldies. That'll get you there as well. However it is you do, get involved, happily involved with the station. You tune it in, turn it on, crank it up. It's the best music and entertainment all on one great platform, HamiltonRadio.net. So, I'm gonna think back here for a little bit. Let's go back to 1980-81, my junior year in high school. I had a history and government teacher. It was a class taught by a guy by the name of Mr. George Ludich. Mr. Ludich, I'm going to say, was then at that point, I'm going to say maybe early to mid 30s or thereabouts. He lived not too far from me, the next town over in New Brunswick to my East Brunswick. I mean, right behind my my living room, over the water is New Brunswick. So he lived that close, basically, just at 5-6 minutes away. I say that because 2 or 3 years before my junior year, eighth grade, he was my ride to and from school. Dad and mother paid him a few bucks for gas and so forth. We became very well acquainted. And again, that was eighth grade, so that would have been 77, 78 with the riding to and from school. Okay, fast forward to 11th grade once again, 80, 81. Mr. Ludich was very interesting to listen to, I have to say, for the most part. He also was good at having us participate in his talks and lectures and topics and such. It was an election year that fall, so you know what? In 1980, there was a lot to discuss. I mean, it was Reagan, Carter, and you remember John Anderson, the white-haired guy with the glasses, was the independent, thought he was going to make a dent, almost did, except for Ronaldus Magnus just ran away with it, but I digress. At any rate, and you've heard me say this a few times over the last few weeks, when Mr. Ludich would burst into the classroom, usually as the bell was ringing for a start of seventh period, he would say, "Okay, people, a light workout today." And the first time he said that, we're like, yeah. Well, after the first few times, we knew that once he said it was a light workout, we knew we needed to get ready to take a lot of notes, a boatload of notes. His light workout, I got to say, Mr. Ludich, if by chance you're tuning in and checking this out, it was anything but a light workout most of the time. So last week and one other time a few weeks earlier, I've also started the show, the Common Ground with John Thielon show, by saying it would be a light workout. I think I even said, "Okay, people, light workout today," just like Mr. Ludich would do. And both times it was a little over an hour. Oops, my bad. Which was 20 minutes longer than Mr. Ludich's 40-minute class periods, by the way. Well, today, I'm going to do all I can to keep my word, so let me say it in true Mr. Ludich style. Okay, people, a light workout today. Okay, here we go. In any event, okay, so there I am, Monday night, surfing around the old interwebs, come across a Facebook reel that kind of hit home a bit, struck a little bit of a chord as well. Lately, I have to say, last week, over the weekend, over the Christmas weekend, I was feeling just a little off, like the guy didn't have his V8. Remember those commercials? He'd walk up the driveway like this? Yeah. And I think maybe that the older I get, the more the last week and a half of December can get me just a bit sideways. Not always, not every year. Over the last decade or so, even with all the tumult and turmoil and so forth that goes on every year, year to year, there have been some late Decembers, I've got to say, that have really been something else. Really great, fun, nice, eventful, special, But there's also been a few late Decembers I'd like to take to the return counter, so to speak. Again, nothing hugely heavy, nothing at all. No, just life or the universe or whatever doing what it does. Now, I don't know, it's because the things went a little differently this year for Christmas. Things were good, to be sure. Things were really, really good. People say, "How's your Christmas?" My standard response is, well, it came, it went, and here we are. But I have to say, it was nice. Did Christmas on Christmas Eve. Actually, this year with my son, his daughter-in-law, and my wife, and went really nicely. The way things used to be. I don't know. It was different, compared to the way things used to be, and that's okay. About the memories. If they actually look better than they actually were, or those memories, in all actuality, were they just that good? I don't know. And then maybe they've never been equaled again. Who's to say? I mean, every experience has its own tapestry, so to speak. I'd had a rough time putting a finger on it all. And why am I feeling off? I'm thinking to myself. I may have stumbled on at least some possible underlying reasons or two, even a semi-reason why I've not been exactly jumping around, standing on my head, spitting nickels about Christmas and the holidays this year. This is what I stumbled on. Maybe it's time for the fighter to be fought for, the supporter to be supported, the advocate to be advocated for. Might just also be time for the holder to be held, for the caring to be cared for the thoughtful to receive thoughtfulness, and for the lover to truly be loved. This sort of thinking may be new for people, new for you maybe, new for me possibly, new for them, whoever them would be. And again, this just may, it might, it could perhaps explain, put a finger, so to speak, on a part of it where my difficulty was concerned. An epiphany, a revelation, I have to say it's a good thing, because it gets you thinking, if nothing else. From the know thyself department. Hey, if you don't know you, if I don't know me, and if they don't know them, how can we think others can or will? Know what I mean? I have to think that I'm not the only person who thought of this sort of thing, I have to say, or come across it or stumbled upon it or what have you, and have it resonate too, to whatever degree, which all dovetails right into what I want to talk about today, which is the new, N-E-W, the new. Folks, welcome to 2023. Just a few days, 3 days and about 8 hours away from 2023. The new year, because right now it's working on 4 o'clock, by the way, on Wednesday. So the new year, presents new opportunities, new reasons to be appreciative and to explore, to capitalize on those new opportunities for you, for me, for our families, and not for anything, but also for the boss. He's important. So often, every new year, as it's about to happen, people seem like they're coming out of a daze of confusion and that cacophony of the busy holiday season, Christmas, Hanukkah, Festivus, whatever you celebrate, you can see it and oftentimes appreciate it too. It can be palpable. With the new year coming at us, folks can also seem to feel newly focused, determined, ready to accomplish things, new goals, new resolutions, or maybe old resolutions that, we're going to try again for the 19th time. I don't know. More so, to me than say in, I don't know, March or June or September, This is good. This is a good thing. Believe me when I tell you. Now, with all that, all we need to do is keep the focus, Hey, it's pretty much happened with all of us. You know how it can go. Before long, we'll find ourselves maybe slipping back into old routines, into old habits. Okay, it happens. We're human. What are we going to do? It happens. Well, what we're going to do is focus and think about what we're doing. What do you say to this? What do you say to this? Let's truly make a decision that this year is going to be different. Doesn't need to be magnanimously different, humongously different, gigantically, gargantuanly different. Could be. Just even a little different is all right. Let 2023 be the year to break out of the things that maybe have held us back, once and for all. Once and for all. I'll bet that, we all want to be free of the weight or an anchor of the past that's kind of held us down or held us back. Listen, I know I do. I really do. The things like, a little bit or a lot that have held us back, a little bit here, a little bit there, or a lot here, a lot there, someplace in between. Knowingly sometimes or not, too. At whatever point. Even the things that really may have nearly dragged us all the way down. Hey, man, stuff happens. It really does. We're human after all. Here's something to keep in mind as we go toward that common ground that we're all eager to get to. Every day, every single morning, there's an opportunity, there's a chance to clean the slate right off. Just clear it off, so to speak. Not just once a year. Not just on a special occasion. No. But with every sunrise, every day. Could be a new thought, a new outlook, a new demeanor, thinking of something that's new and creative. Let me ask you. Here's a serious question. What do you like? What do you like? Fashion? Music, gardening, maybe landscaping, working on cars, engines, body work, maybe, paint work, what? Are you a number cruncher? Do you do well with that sort of thing? Can you sell a bag of ice cubes to the Eskimos in January? You're that good at sales. What do you like to do? What is it? What's your thing? I, myself, for example, I like radio. Clearly, here I am, doing the thing on radio / some video. And I like being a part of radio station or broadcast leadership. You know, working here with Gino and Jerry and Ruben here at Hamilton Radio is just a ticket, I have to say. And there may be other opportunities coming down my pipe, but more on that if they happen, as they happen. But, you know, there also may be other new opportunities, you know. And again, we'll get to that when we get to that. But I've been involved with radio in some way, shape, manner, or form for 40 years, over 40 years, you know, since September of 1982. So it's just a little over 40 years. I've wanted to be on the radio since I've been about 10 years old or so. So guess what? Here I am, man. Why not? I also like railroads, trains. After many years of not doing so, I set up my O-gauge Lionel trains a few weeks back in advance of Christmas. I also, for Christmas, I got an HO gauge tank car that I really liked and wanted from my son and his wife, Lindsay. And that was really a great gift because I really dig it because, again, since I've been very small, trains has been my thing. You know, so suffice to say, those little trains, the HOs, will be set up soon enough as well. Plus, I've got ideas, concepts, creative things in mind for other different additional railroad-type stuff that I'd like to do. Again, more on that as time transpires and things play out. Here's a couple of words for you. Backyard. Ooh. More later, okay? Here, too, I have been a train guy since 1967 when I was three. Matter of fact, Gino and I just got talking about this not half an hour ago about things like that. You know, what do you like? What do you do? What do you remember from your childhood? And about, you know, 3 is about as far back as I can go. So, at any rate, as 2023 gets going, I've got to think that one or the other or both of these things, radio and trains, will be a focal point of my upcoming actions, activities, successes, initiatives, personally, professionally, however, matters not, okay? So, I say all that to say this. You've heard it 1,000 times, I'm sure. Do what you like, what you actually like and enjoy, and you'll never truly work a day in your life. Whoa, remember that? How about, yes, you're going to be efforting on things. You always have to put some effort into it. You know, physical effort, maybe some labor, whatever that may be, phone calls or shoveling stuff or whatever in between. But because you like it, really like it, whatever it is for you, that effort's going to seem effortless most of the time and pretty damned easy the rest of the time. Get it? Okay. In any event, when you arrive at that, at truly, genuinely identifying what you like, opportunity will be front and center of the next thoughts that you have. You won't even have to try. The opportunity-based thoughts, I don't know what that means. No, it's going to come just like this. It's going to pop in your head because you found what you like. Now, all of a sudden, the ideas are going to just flow without even trying. And even with trying, too, but I mean, certainly without. So back to thinking of something new. And of course means, you know, new just means that you haven't received it, thought it, or done it, these ideas, the demeanor, the creative details, whatever. You haven't been involved with it before. That's new. So that newness, whatever it might be that you haven't experienced, it's empowerment that you haven't gotten yet, that you haven't experienced yet. And yet, that's whether you're 9 or 90. Doesn't matter how old or young you are. Doesn't matter. You know, Colonel Sanders, Kentucky Fried Chicken, you know, he goofed around with chicken at that gas station, and I guess in Kentucky for however long he did, till he finally figured it out. Brother was in his mid-60s. You know, and he was a raving success. KFC is one of the most popular, you know, eateries, you know, fast food or otherwise in the country, in the world, actually. I forget which country, one of the Asian countries, it is the most popular eatery. Might be China, I don't remember, don't hold me to it. But one of those Asian Oriental countries over there, KFC is #1 and getting higher all the time. And you know, Harlan Sanders, I think he was 63, if memory serves, until he really got himself going in gear, doing something that was new. Maybe not new to him, but new in that it was different how he did it, and new to other people, the consumers, who could experience it. See how nice? So doesn't matter if you're 9 or 90. And by extension, it also equates to, I don't know, greater levels of favor, along with the ease and ability where your new is concerned. Okay? So along with what you like, want to do to equip and fulfill what you're going to be called, tagged, or tapped to do, it just boils down to identifying it. Simple as that. And that's whether you call or tag or tap yourself to do whatever it is that you really like, or if you get called, tagged, or tapped by someone else who recognizes, hey, that guy's a good number cruncher. Boy, she could sell ice cream to the Eskimos in the middle of winter. Huh. We need her on our sales staff. Others who see it and get it about your abilities, new or not. This sort of thing, I have to tell you, folks, it's as empowering as can be. It really is. And with that, my belief, it's not necessarily designed to save us from what some people would call punishment that we think we might deserve. See what happened? I should have zigged when I actually zagged, and now I'm being punished for it. No. We think that from time to time, and I never really got that. I really don't. On the other hand, in my estimation, it empowers us to receive the good stuff, blessings, favor, ultimately success as well, that we may think we don't always deserve, but we kind of do, knowingly or not. Why not? All right, unless you're some flaming, a-hole out there just doing very bad things, like some guy with a bad haircut and a dopey mustache back in Germany in the 30s and 40s, but I digress. All we have to do to make things cook, to really make things pop, is fix, focus, and finish. That's a Marty Schottenheimerism from when he was the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to adapt it to what we're talking about here. Fix on what you like, on what you want, on what you do, okay? Focus on the details to get it, whatever it is, to get it done right in an above board and proper way. Seriously, just do the right thing. And then finish the tasks required to make it all go. Fix, focus, finish. It's as simple as that. Okay. Today, again, we're just 3 days and 7 hours and let's see here, 52 minutes away from 2023. I want to be encouraging. I always want to be encouraging. It's about the upbeat, the positive, the can-do, the being of good cheer here on Common Ground with John Theillon, taking a page from the Rush Limbaugh manual, if you will. So as we think of, we write down our resolutions, our goals, our dreams, our objectives, think of, ponder, even meditate on this. Here's a fact. You ready? Because you're not hearing this all the time. Believe it or not, things are more good out there than they are not. Let me say it again. Things out there are more good than they are not. Yeah, more so than others really want you to know or believe. And that could be from people up and down your street. That can be from family and close friends. Pardon me. That can be from folks, with whom you work. To many people in whatever position of influence or so-called leadership, whether it's one thing or another. And it also applies to, where, if, and how you worship or think spiritually is concerned. It's true. Here's something that's good to know, something that's good to hear, whether for the first time or as a happy little reminder. Okay, you ready? The boss, the creator, God, the boss is good. It's that simple. I mean, there's not a whole lot to be said, but I'm going to say it anyway. He's with us and completely for us and totally about us. He's with all that's new every day, every morning, every afternoon, evening, and every night. Also, remember, no matter what happens, no matter how many times maybe we stub our toe, we falter, we stumble, we fall, we fail maybe, because of all this, we are empowered. We've got it, whether we know it or not, to get back up again. Remember, nothing will ever hit us as hard as life itself. Just a fact. You've gotten hit. I've gotten hit by life, okay? And it will. It'll beat you down. It'll beat your ass to where you're on your knees. And it'll leave you there. It'll keep you there if you let it. Thing is, it's not about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and still continue to be able to get up and move forward. That's the way to do it. That's how to do it. That's how to win. And not for nothing, but in a similar vein, anytime, any day, anywhere that I need a new beginning, it's okay. It's a good idea, actually, to simply talk to the boss. Talk to our Creator. Talk to God. Why not? Doesn't need to be this big, and thou shalt goeth into the place. No. No, BS, okay? Could be silently. Could be under your breath very quietly, or out loud. I tell you, I do this all the time. Somebody was hanging around outside my window of my bedroom or my TV room. They'd be like, who the heck is he talking to? Well, I'm talking to the boss. Get away from me. Listen, as I've always said here on Common Ground with John Thielon, one of the key areas that I'm going to share info with you is going to come from the spiritually oriented. Now, wherever my information comes from, all I'm doing for you, is providing you, giving you information. Simple as that. What you do with it, that's 100% up to you. Just did this with my son not too long ago. He had some concerns about a few things that were, here again, new to him. And I asked him, I said, you want some info? You want my take on some of this? And he said, yeah, sure. So I gave him information, literally. That was it. It wasn't now, because you know this guy too. All right, what you want to do is ... No, I did not give him what you want to do. I said, son, here's information. When I was involved in something that was a lot like this, I did so-and-so, such and such, and yada, yada, yada. Now, take that and do with it what you will. Same thing here, folks, on Common Ground with John Thielon. I am an information purveyor, if you will, a supplier, a resource. I'm giving you information. What you do with it, entirely up to you. But here on December 28th, know that you don't have to wait for a new year for a new start. Now, it's very timely right now because, again, December 28th. Okay, so New Year's a good time. But if we're 4, 5, 6 months from now, well, I can't do anything new, because it ain't the new year. No, wrong, false, foul, unyes. June 30th rolls around. You know what? I have a new idea. Then good. Take that ball and run with it. Again, the way it works is that each and every day you can receive and begin to do the new. Simple as that. Doesn't need to be a new year, a better attitude or demeanor, a new outlook that's more positive, upbeat, can-do, and of good cheer, maybe. New ideas that might lead to new creativity, even if you're one of those who's like, oh, yeah, I'm not real creative. No, again, I'm gonna call BS on that. Everybody's got some sort of creativity in them. And the new creativity, whatever it may be, again, it's gonna lead to new opportunities. Take this to the bank, okay? Seriously. With that, there's hope, there's love, there's positivity, and forgiveness that comes along with it all as a matter of course. Believe that or not. You need to believe it, I'm just saying. Okay, so now that that has been established, we can 100% be empowered to embrace the life of victory, the life of success, the life of fantasticness, whatever you want to call it, that's in store for you, for me, for all of us. 2023 is our year to rise up higher, whether it's in relationships, health, finances, and of course with the boss. Why not? Why not? However and wherever you do draw nearer to him, he'll draw nearer to you. I'm just saying. Again, do what's best for you. Here's information. Do with it what you will. I'm also here to tell you that, yes, all these things, these good, positive things, are for you and for me. Today, tomorrow, every day. We're not going to get stuck into all those old things that are just not getting it done. We've tried it over and over and still it's not coming out the way we want. Okay, you've tried spraying, scrubbing, and soaking, and still ring around the color. You remember the old commercial? Well, don't use that stuff anymore. Something new is what's necessary. I know that with this sort of thinking, this new perspective, that we all will have something new, something very great coming our way in 2023. You just have to be aware of it, do it, and look for it. Me, you, we're all set to be new creations, so to speak. Again, doesn't matter how old you are. We're all set to be new creations. We're in a position to have a new spirit, a new walk, a new journey, a new life. And I hate that thing, oh, and the journey, but it applies here. I'm so sorry. You know, again, the old things, the stuff we want to get rid of, yeah, time to punt them out of our lives. Done. Might be old behaviors or tendencies that you want to change. Remember, the new is coming. It's near. It's on its way. You know, it's a new year. Time to be new, act new, do new for you. Maybe you want to watch the new Zoo Review. Remember that when we were kids? But that's another topic. Let this year be the year that we break the old habits, the old junk, the old garbage, the old nuttery, the old tendencies, maybe even addictions and what have you. Let this be the year in 2023 that we move forward into a new life of success and happiness and winning, victory. And our new lives are also set up to include all the spiritual blessings that the boss always has promised. Okay? That said, we have a promise of peace, a promise of health, a promise of protection and provision. This, again, it's encouraging. It really is. No matter what is happening in our lives right now, we can and should grab onto the new that's being prepped for us. Okay? It's like going to a restaurant. You know, they don't open till 4 o'clock, but they've been there since 11. What? Prepping the food so that when we order the chicken marsala, it's not cooked, but it's ready. It's right there, ready to be cooked the way we want it to. Hey, listen, I know it's not always an easy thing to go from concept to action. It's not. I mean, please, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And, you know, from coast to coast, border to border, from sea to shining sea, everybody would be raving successes. That's not necessarily how it works, and that's a shame. But it's about how we make the choice today to leave the old stuff behind, to leave behind that old behavior, the old thinking, the old words. Watch your words too, folks. Trust me. Okay? Embrace the new by faith, and we'll move forward into a life of positivity, being upbeat without even trying, having a can-do demeanor, and quite possibly not even realizing it initially, if ever, and being of good cheer a whole lot more so than previously. So much so it's really noticeable to others. Hey, what's up with Dan? He's very happy lately. Well, you know, he's just got a different air about him. That's right. Well, gee, that Lois, boy, she's Lois, you're awfully positive there. Well, it's because she's turned over a new leaf. She's looking for something new, okay? There are all sorts of blessings in store for you, for me, for all of us with this new. Now, the key is to also be mindful that to not ever, to never totally lose the new. That can be a challenge. But we can succeed at it, whether it's, again, in a relationship or a goal or an objective or what. We absolutely can succeed at it. And with success comes even greater challenge, and that's okay. That just means that you're winning, okay? One piece, one step at a time. There's a reason, for example, that a typical 8-year-old does not do 12th grade classwork. They've got to fix, focus, and finish on their 3rd grade stuff first, and then 4th grade and 5th grade and 6th grade and junior high and high school and so on. This way, by the time that 8-year-old becomes a high school senior, they're ready for it. Ha! Keep that in mind, too. Let's do this, folks. What do you say? It's a great time to once again wipe the slate, the chalkboard, the whiteboard, blank and clean. Then it's on to that common ground that we're all looking for, we're all wanting, we're all aspiring to achieve. Now is an ideal time. There's absolutely no reason to wander around in the proverbial desert for 40 years like the people that Moses was leading out of Egypt 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago. That really wasn't smart, how they played it. They wanted the common ground. Trust me when I tell you, they did. They just didn't feel like following the prescription. You know, doing what the instructions said. adhering to the map, traveling the already paved road to get there. So they lost 40% of an entire century goofing around out in the desert. Really? Really? Meanwhile, Joshua, when he and one of the other guys was sent ahead of time to scout, how the promised land was looking and who might be there that they needed to deal with, he came back and said, you know what, let's go now, at once, immediately. But there were 8 other scouts back then, and they came back and told people, ooh, about a land of giants, and I don't know how we're going to overcome them and defeat them, and how difficult it was going to be to do all that. So you know what? The people bought it. It's so easy to buy into the negative, and these people, they bought it hook, line, and freaking sinker. That's insane. For 40 years. That's stupid. Especially when everything about how to do what needed to be done was all laid out. All laid out. Well, guess what? We've got our promised land. The whole agenda is all laid out. And we don't even have to go anywhere. We can do it from the comfort of our own homes, right here in the Hamilton Radio studios, wherever it is you work, your backyard. Maybe you're in the pool down in South Florida right now. It's finally getting a little warmer, out in Arizona where my buddy Ross and his wife Kimberly are. Hey, what's up? You don't have to go anywhere. It's all ready for you. We can do it, establishing the new wherever and whenever we want. Listen, in 40 years, I'm going to be 98 years old. Yeah, I'm thinking I don't want to wait around until I'm 98 to start to get the favor, the abundance, the positivity, all the good stuff that's out there. Trust me, I've gotten plenty of it, but there's so much more. I don't want to wait around until I'm 98 damn years old for, the mother lode, so to speak. So we shouldn't need to wait around. There's no way we need to wait around. So come on, let's get to it. Step at a time, on the way to common ground. We've got this. Embrace the new year, new ideas, new thoughts, new creativity, new opportunities. Again, I'm here to tell you that by doing so, it is a setup for a comeback if that's what's needed. It is the prescription, however, for positivity, for happiness, for being up, for being accomplished and successful. Trust me here. Trust me, like I say. Take it to the bank. Do not doubt me. And as always, by these things I stand, and you should too. One moment, I want to make a mention before I head out. Got the heads up of a very dear family friend of ours, Mrs. Helen Chernick. She lives down in Florida. She's deep into her 90s, and it's about time for her to go home. Very great friends, Mr. and Mrs. Chernick. Her husband, Paul, has been home, so to speak, for about 40 years, not quite 40 years. So it'll be great for her to join her husband, my mother and dad, who are very great friends of hers and theirs, and so many others. And, I'm just reminded, because I mentioned this because along with Mrs. Chernick, with Helen Chernick, there are so many others who I have seen over this last week and a half, who have lost people special in their lives. Some, yeah, they knew it was coming, like with Mrs. Chernick. She's an older gal that's finally catching up with her. Others where it just came way out of left field. And you know what? I've been there. I've done that. 5 times in my life. There have been these kind of curveballs that have come at me and or my family since about 1975. There were either an immediate departure, a death in the family, a death and somebody very close, or an incident that resulted in. So I say this to any of you who have and or are maybe going through something like what my friends Mark and Paul Chernick, the Chernick's sons, are about to go through. Mark lives internationally, and Paul lives a state away, but he's got some health issues that may prohibit him from seeing his own mother before she goes home. It's difficult. Again, if it were easy, everybody would get through it without an incident, without anything. It's tough, but do what you can, folks, to be there for your people, for your person, for your neighbor, for your friend, for the guy at work, for, the folks who go to the same, place you do to worship, church or temple or whatever it is you do, wherever it is you go. It's so easy to get anymore. Do what we can to tamp it down. That might be new for some of us as well. Listen, I have my moments. Ask those who really know me, okay? But I'm working real hard to really not be a lot of the old John Thielon. Very, very worthwhile work, I have to say. So, there you go. That's all of it. Once again, give the rest of the week your best shot. Have a fantastic and happy New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. College football, coming at you. I'm going to slide on out of here for now, okay? Thank you. God bless you. Until next time, this is Common Ground with John Thielon. So long.